Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Morning Scone. Hanging out with you today. We're presented by Boudreaux's, as always, and glad to have you here. Please hit the share button if you have not done it yet. Also, got to continue reminding you this Saturday, Magical Beer Tour. A lot we're going to talk about in a second, by the way. NFL Top 100 is out. We know where Drew Brees is. NBA honors last night. Anthony Davis denied. Good honor for Ben Simmons. And then I want to talk some College World Series Championship Series. So we'll get to all that here in just a second. Game 1 was postponed. But this weekend, Magical Beer Tour. So please, if you like beer or you know someone who does, please share with them this information this Saturday. Me, Jay Ducote, Lee Feinswag. We talked about it months ago. We put it together. It's this Saturday. We're going to Wayward Owl in New Orleans, Wayward Owl, Port Orleans, NOLA, and Urban South. 4 breweries, one day. Going to be a lot of fun. Hey, my wife's watching. Hey, babe. Watching from the other room right there. Good morning. Babe, Drew's good. He got his food started, and he's watching Daniel Tiger right now, so he's doing really good. Stephen Miller, good morning. Adam Tower, Stephen Bro, Scott Bork, good morning. Trivia Carter, good morning. We appreciate y'all as always. But hey, if you're a beer person or you know someone who is, holler at me, and y'all go check out our Magical Beer Tour coming up this weekend. Few spots still available. Look at my the link is pinned on my profile, so you can check it out right there. Okay, so NFL Top 100. They finished the list yesterday, last evening. So Drew Brees comes in the list at number 8, 8th best player in the NFL. He was up from 16 last year. And the reason this is significant is it's voted on by the players in the NFL. So I'll tend to put a little more credence in it. And something the NFL Network does every year about this time, when they're kind of going through June. He was number 16 last year. The first time he's been in the top 10 since 2014. So Brees he kind of had a steady decline. Actually, in 16, he was number 30. So he went from 30 to 16 to 8. So as he's moved through his late 30s, Brees is actually improving his spot on this list. So Brees becomes the 6th Saints player on the list. Kamara was 20, Cam Jordan was 26, Ingram was 43, Michael Thomas 81, Marshawn Lattimore 82. And I think I might have talked about this on AFR whenever Cam Jordan came on the list. And just the biggest difference is, if you go back 2 years ago, in 2016, the 2016 list, so after the 15 season, the Saints had 2 guys. Brees was 30, Cam Jordan was 99. Biggest difference in the Saints from being a team that's consistently 7-9 and a team that's a playoff and potentially Super Bowl contender is the fact that they just got better players. They got much better players than they did. When you get 6 guys in the top 100 as opposed to 2, you're going to be better. If you're wondering about the top 10, as they've counted them down, Tom Brady was number 1 again, and justifiably so. He's awesome. It's, I guess, a little surprising Antonio Brown is 2, but he's so dynamic. But when you look around the NFL, and you see the big physical freak show wide receivers like Julio Jones and AJ Green and guys like that, it's just a little surprising to see the Antonio Brown at 5'11", 6 feet tall as the best receiver in the game and number 2 on the list. So Brady repeats as number 1. Antonio Brown was 2. Carson Wentz was number 3 on the list. He was not on the list last year, all the way up from not on the list to number 3 this year. And the fact that he missed the second half of the season with the torn ACL and they still won the Super Bowl, it's a little surprising to see him there. But clearly NFL players know and they think he's special. Julio Jones 4, Le'Veon Bell 5, Todd Gurley 6, Aaron Donald 7, as I mentioned, Drew Brees 8, Von Miller 9. He was 2 last year. And then Aaron Rodgers down to 10. I would say that's the other surprise. Now, Rodgers broke his collarbone, but then again, Wentz tore his ACL and fell down the list and was all the way up at number 2. excuse me, number 3, and then there's Aaron Rodgers, at the 10 spot. But I guess when you're talking about the best players in the league, you're splitting hairs like that. But it was nice to see for a change Brees ahead of there was this cluster of when Manning was Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Brees. It was like those 4 that everybody always talked about, and Brees was kind of always a consensus 4th on that list. So it's nice to see him actually a little bit higher, even if there's nothing really tangible that matters about that. I think it does. You're talking about legacy at this point with Drew Brees, so I'm happy to see him where he is. All right, let's see. Give you all some more shout-outs as we move through this. Scott Perlew, good morning. Josh Rhodes, good morning. Vance McBroom, good morning. Vance waiting on Drew. I'm sure Drew will pop in here at some point. Stephen Miller, good morning. Good to see y'all as always. Y'all hit the share button if you've not done so yet. Mark White, good morning. Joe and Bryant Hanno, good morning. Appreciate y'all for watching as always. So the other honors from last night, the NBA awards were given out last night. So you had, missed that page. James Harden wins the MVP. Rudy Gobert outlasted Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year, which is a bummer, man. Bummer, man. And how about Ben Simmons winning Rookie of the Year? I think today on AFR I'll probably do a big laughing ha-ha at all the people. Maybe I'll spend part of my day today prepping, going back, and this would be petty, but going back and finding like tweets from 3 years ago, and lots of people who mocked me when I said Ben Simmons was going to be an awesome NBA player. When he was at LSU and he was no look passing and hitting guys in the face with the ball, and so it would on a score sheet and box score register as a turnover. When in the NBA, I'm like, that's an assist and 2 points. There was one play I remember, and it was with Craig Victor. Simmons goes coast to coast. He gets a defensive rebound, goes coast to coast. No look pass to Craig Victor under the goal, and instead of just going right up with it, Victor loads like he's Shaq, right? Like he goes down, like he's going to go up. I think it was against Kentucky, and he gets swatted. It's like those are the kind of plays where if Simmons had better teammates, he would have been even more dynamic than he was at LSU, and you're seeing it now. And it's like in baseball with a hitter, power is always the last thing to come. Same with like in the NBA, like your shot is always going to be the last thing to come. Think about LeBron. I mean, early in his career, LeBron wasn't a great jump shooter and certainly wasn't a great three-point shooter. It was something he added to his repertoire as his career went along, and that'll happen for Ben Simmons. But for now, he can get to the rack, he can score. He's certainly a great passer. He's got great handles. Like Ben Simmons is fantastic, and he's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better in the NBA. And it's one guy that I wish LSU fans would embrace more, but I think that will happen in time. A little disappointed for Anthony Davis not winning. I didn't expect him to win MVP, but I did think he'd win Defensive Player of the Year. So congrats to Rudy Gobert. At that point, I mean, you're kind of splitting hairs. So Rudy Gobert wins Defensive Player of the Year. AD finishes just behind him for that. And then the other thing that was surprising, or not surprising, Stephen Ruckman, good morning. Ernie Butita, good morning. I guess not surprising, but food for thought. Kevin Durant won an MVP. Russell Westbrook won an MVP. James Harden won an MVP. They all three started with Oklahoma City. All three drafted by OKC. You can't help but wonder what if. Like, that three is as good as, if not better than. No, better than. That three is better than Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. The big three drafted by Golden State. My point is, like, I know we get so consumed sometimes with free agency and trying to, and these guys collude. I use the word colluding. I don't know that makes it seem deceitful, but I don't know that there's a better term. But I think we get so consumed with these NBA guys, these star players, sort of creating these super teams. When in reality, look at what teams have drafted. Like if you do it right, if you hit, I mean, look at how that can go for you. I mean, Golden State, while of course they're the flashy team that everybody wants to join now, they were built on the draft. Same with Oklahoma City, and I guess I look at it and I go, man, people say, oh well, free agents don't want to go to small market teams like New Orleans. Who wanted to go to Golden State? I mean, Oakland's not a small market. I mean, the Bay Area is obviously big, but Oakland was Oakland. I mean, Golden State hadn't won anything since the 70s. And they draft Steph, and they draft Clay, and they draft Draymond, and they win a championship. They supplement them with good veterans, and then all of a sudden, they're the flashy place everybody wants to be. Look at Cleveland, man. Who wants to go to Cleveland? They just got LeBron. So, I mean, I guess my point is, like, if you're just looking locally, it can happen for New Orleans. Draft well. Because I don't know that unless if AD gets you over the hump, that you're going to be able to attract super duper free agents. So draft. So at this point, though, I don't know if Dell Demps has the time, right? I don't know if you have because you got 2 more years, full years with AD before you can decide what you're going to do. Like, I don't know that you have the time now to draft. But point is, man, in the NBA, you can do it through the draft. You have to hit, and sometimes you got to hit on guys in the second round that were sleepers that become really good starting NBA players. And the other part of it is I just wonder what if, man. I look at Oklahoma City and go, Durant, Westbrook, Harden. You had all 3 of them. What if? Like, what if you find a way to make all 3 of them happy? And I mean, you're better than Golden State. Jamie said, I don't know. Harden's awful in defense. Durant's great now. Westbrook's borderline out of control. I think Warriors big 3. Morning BTW. I don't know what morning BTW is, by the way. Morning, by the way. Did I misspell it? No. Anyway, and you misspelled Harden. But Jamie, I just Durant won an MVP in Oklahoma City. So I don't know what you mean by he's only great now. Westbrook out of control is just foolish. I mean, it's just he plays with a super aggressive pace, and you need perimeter shooting, and there's none better in the NBA right now than Harden. I mean, Harden and Steph are what and what. So, like, you have what you need right there with 3 players that can win you a championship if you had them all on the same team, and you had them all on the same team. I don't blame Harden as a free agent for going and getting his money, but he could have stuck around Oklahoma City and realized what they had there, and been part of something that could have been really special. So you wonder what if, instead of what you have right now in the NBA, which is one super team and everybody trying to figure out how to match them. Scott, let's see. I watched some footage from Cardell Thomas this morning. I tell you what, if you want to solve the immigration problem, put that kid on the border. Ain't nobody getting in. Probably not relevant to your show today, but dang, that dude is good. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the comment. Cardell Thomas, for those who don't know, from Southern Lab in Baton Rouge, #1 offensive guard in the country. He's committed to LSU. I've seen all that stuff too from the camps. The thing that interests me though is there's no pads, so like all that footage is let's wait and see when they put the pads on. And he's also a high school rising senior, and the only position on the field, or the position on the field where I most wonder about guys transitioning as freshmen, is on the offensive and defensive line, just because of the physicality. It's very different. And I'm not diminishing Cardell. Like, I've seen it. He's super impressive kid too. But when you're 18 and you're blocking 6 foot, 220-pound defensive lineman in high school, then all of a sudden you're blocking Rashard Lawrence. It's a very big difference, just physically. So, like, I was an offensive lineman in high school. Imagine, like, me trying to block Rashard Lawrence in high school, and then him facing Sadiq Charles, right? Just a very big difference. So, I'm with you, Scott. I think Cardell's got awesome potential, man. There's a reason he's a top 10 player in the country. But I always hesitate to say, okay, what are guys going to do on the line as true? Like, can they step in as true freshmen and play? Now, you had two guys do it last year. You had Ed Ingram and Sadiq Charles do it last year. Not just like competent, like they were dudes. So it's possible. It's totally possible. I guess I was always just hesitating putting that expectation on freshmen coming in. Let's see. One other thing I want to talk about. We'll get some of your questions if you want them to fire away. Game 1 of the College World Series was delayed last night because of rain, and man, that is such a wow. That's such a benefit to Oregon State, man. So Oregon State had to play 5 games since last Saturday, since the beginning of the College World Series. They lost their opener, and they had to come back and win 4 games to get into the championship series. They won the losers bracket game. They won the game against the loser of the winners bracket game, and then they had to come back and beat Mississippi State twice. So they also had played Friday, Saturday. Then we're just going to have Sunday off, and then we're going to have to play Monday, Tuesday, potentially Wednesday. That was going to end up being potentially 5 games in 6 days, which college teams, we talked about this with LSU when they were going through the SEC tournament. College teams aren't built to do that. I mean, if you're a really good college team, you got 3 starters and then a midweek guy. Oregon State really just has 2, and then a reliever who's become a starter. But having that extra day is huge because it gets Luke Heimlich more rest. Now, he's only thrown a combined 5 innings during his time in Omaha, but because he got roughed up, it's still his 3rd start. And then the other thing that's huge too is I think every LSU fan remembers Stephen Kwan, the center fielder and leadoff hitter for Oregon State. He had been scratched for the past 4 games because he had a hamstring injury. Well, he was in the lineup yesterday, and they didn't play, so got him even another day's rest to be ready for tonight. So that's a little bit of a bummer, man. I'll tell you this much. What was super impressive was kind of like LSU last year, man. It was a sea of red at TD Ameritrade. So Arkansas, it's going to feel like an Arkansas home series at TD Ameritrade, man. The Hog fans are ready. They haven't been in this position since the late 90s. It was 78 or 79 last time they were in the CWS finals. So good luck to them. But, man, it's the extra day. I really feel like yesterday, Blaine Knight on full rest against Luke Heimlich on short rest, and a taxed Oregon State staff, that was going to give a big advantage game 1. I shouldn't say a big advantage, but an advantage game 1 to Arkansas. And man, I feel like they kind of just punted on that advantage, and to no fault of their own, just the weather. But so I'll play game 1 tonight, then game 2 tomorrow, and then if necessary, game 3 on Thursday. So we'll see how it goes. Ron Yusi, good morning. Yancey Benoit, good morning. Good meeting you Friday, Yancey. Shannon LeBlanc, good morning. Michael Moscona, what's up, cuz? Jordan Neville, good morning. Beth Bonner DeVille, good morning. Your husband was giving you shout-outs in studio yesterday, by the way, telling Darnell Lazar what a stud athlete you were at Woodlawn back in the day. All right, y'all, let's see. About to wrap this up unless y'all got questions. Morning Scone brought to you by Boudreaux's. Y'all check out the Bloody Mary mix. Check out the Margarita mix. Great local company. I love endorsing great people. Very grateful that Boudreaux's sponsored Morning Scone so we can do this every single day. If you're in Baton Rouge, get on by Alexander's, get on by Calandro's, get by Calvin's, Mid-City Wine and Craft. If you're in Homa, it's at Canada's. And hey, Rouse's people, let's get this thing going, man. What's up, Rouse's? I mean, great local product. Y'all are all over. I'm giving shout-outs every day. Let's get this thing cruising, man. Let's get Boudreaux's into all these Rouse's stores. Let's go. But check them out, by the way, Boudreaux's, and on all their social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you're watching this, if you found this link on Twitter, or if you're watching this now on Facebook, the link is in the bio here, or in the title here. So just click that and like their page. I'd appreciate it. Let's see, Steven. I still want to lean toward Arkansas starter and their bats. Thing is, Oregon State's bats have been better in Omaha. It's Arkansas's averaging 7.7 runs in Omaha. Oregon State's averaging 9.6 runs in Omaha. Luke Heimlich, when he's right, 16-game winner. That was the most in college baseball this year. I mean, I hear you, but it's, we've just, seen. I've seen Oregon State be a juggernaut, and I've seen Arkansas at times this year not look great on the road, but they've been great in this postseason, to their credit. Yancey, what quarterbacks are transferring from LSU? I don't know if it's plural, Yancey, but the thing that I'll say to keep in mind is that Justin McMillan graduates in July. So he would be able to leave and play immediately next year after he graduates. So that's the one I would say keep an eye on. If there are two, the other would be Lowell. I wouldn't be stunned, and I'm not telling you I know anything. I'm not breaking news here. I don't know. I do know that Lowell has considered leaving, but that shouldn't come as a surprise. Like, anybody would keep their options open. I wouldn't be stunned if he did basically what Lindsey Scott did last year. Lindsey started fall camp, realized what the depth chart was and how it was going, how they were splitting reps, and said, I'm a bolt. So he went to Mississippi Gulf Coast, won a JUCO national title, and now he's back in the SEC at Missouri. So he got a chance to go play a year and then get back into the SEC. I wouldn't be surprised if Lowell did that. But McMillan, I said it when Burrow signed, and I'll stay true to it because I was very adamant about it. I said at the time, I can't see any way that McMillan and Burrow are both on the roster this year, and I'll stay to that. If you're McMillan, you've been around for 3 years, you want to play. This seemed to be your opportunity. You look like the best guy coming out of spring, and coaches weren't convinced you were the guy, so they went and signed a grad transfer who looks like he's going to play. I mean, the clock's ticking, so you can hardly blame him. It's just what quarterbacks do. It's not McMillan. It's not LSU. That's what quarterbacks do now. So to answer your question, I think Justin McMillan will still be gone. And I think the one that you hold your breath on is Lowell. Jason Meeks, good morning. Good to see y'all. Let's see. Stephen Miller. Matt, you seen your boy Jordy working hard next year in the Red Rock and Blue game. You're going to draft him next year. So I don't know if so Collada in the first inning of the game on Friday. He's playing right field, and Leon Landry hits a pop-up to right. And, this is one of their better bats. So you're like, okay, you got a chance for a lazy fly for one of their best bats. It's big to get those when you have the opportunity. And it would have been a scoreless inning had Jordy caught it. But instead of what do you always do? Like, as an outfielder, what are you taught? 2 steps back, track the ball, and then come in. But off the bat, Jordy just comes running in, and ball goes over his head. He misses an easy pop-up to right. They ended up scoring 2 in the first, which we scored 5 in the top of the first. They would have been shut out in the bottom of the first had he caught the ball, but missed it. Anyway, a couple of lazy flyouts as well as a batter in the game. So just a disappointing, I'd say, disappointing overall performance there for Jordy. But to his credit, guy wants it. Tweeted a video last night in traction, working on fly balls. It's just what you do, right? Something doesn't go your way. You can sit around, you can pout about it, or you get better. And Collada's going out and getting better. So, by the way, when y'all are done with this, go tune into 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jordy, T-Bob's out this week, I think all week. But those guys are on right now. Let's see. Yancey said draft Danny Johnson and Will Clapp. Danny Johnson, and those were the 2 biggest surprises. You never know with football guys or basketball guys, how they transition or translate to baseball or to softball. Most of the basketball guys that have played are dreadful. It's I've seen Brandon Bass swing and miss 3 times, not even close. Geis, for example, was, God bless him, super good, great guy. Terrible. Watching him swing was comical. But Danny Johnson from Southern, defensive back from Southern now in the NFL, he went undrafted. I think he might have signed with Oakland. I'm pretty sure with Oakland. Anyway, bro, caught everything in, I think he played center, caught everything out center, and wheels, man. Gappers, inside the park home runs on gappers. Just when nobody throwing them out. So definitely a stud. And then Will Clapp. Dude, Will Clapp, at third base, was a vacuum cleaner. Sucked up everything. Accurate throws. And when I was like, dude, man, you were one of the last guys picked. He's he was stunned. I'm like, Will, you got to understand, man. I told him, I was like, you never know how guys transition. I said, look at T-Bob. I mean, I love T-Bob, but T-Bob was brutal. And I'm like, just look at, you just never know. It's a crapshoot until you get guys out here, you know how they are. And some guys will say they're great, and then you get them out here and you're like, oh, God. So anyway, but yeah, Clapp and Danny Johnson were huge surprises last year. Ryan Broussard said you need to get Hawthorne to call the game next year. It's not a bad idea. I'll tell Jacques. A bad idea. Craig, Jordy's doing basket catches now. He was. He was going Willie Mays Hay style out there. All right, let's see. About to wrap this up. One more time, y'all. If y'all know anybody that loves beer and you're looking for something, there's like nothing going on this Saturday. Me, Lee Feinswag, and Jay Ducote, our magical beer tour. We're hitting 4 breweries in New Orleans. We're leaving Baton Rouge Saturday, 10 a.m. from Tin Roof. We'll take the charter bus down to New Orleans. We're hitting 4 Wayward in this order: Wayward Owl, Port Orleans, which is Zach Street's brewery, by the way, NOLA, and then Urban South. We're hitting those 4, and then coming back to Baton Rouge. So you get 2 beers are included per brewery. So 8 beers in all that you get to sample, and there's more available for purchase at the brewery if you want. At some of the breweries, there's food, so you'll have the opportunity to buy lunch. You will get a commemorative glass with all the breweries' logos and our station logos and stuff like that on it as well. So it should be a fun time, man. Again, link for that is pinned to my page. So go to the at Matt Scone AFR here on Facebook. It should be pinned on my Twitter page as well. But if you're interested, go click on that. Let's go. There's a few spots available. We capped it at 50 because we only wanted to take one bus. We want to do it small this year in year 1. So we capped it at 50, and I need to check with Jay. I don't know exactly how many more spots there are, but I checked with him over the weekend. There's still a few. So if y'all want to come, come on. You ain't doing anything this weekend? Let's go. Bring it. Me, Jay, Lee, we'll all be on the bus. Well, I think Hannegriff told me yesterday he might be coming too. So be a good time, man. So y'all come join us on Saturday. Again, go buy your tickets. Click. It's pinned on my page on Facebook. Go check it out. All right, we'll wrap it up here. Y'all have a great day. See you this afternoon on AFR. We'll see you next time. See you tomorrow morning.